We'll take McDonald and his wife a ways, but before we get to Gavin's truck, pull over. I believe this is your stop, Mrs. McDonald.
You mean you're not going to kidnap me?
Conditional on your cooperation. I require a transfer of $20 million from one of your foreign bank accounts into my own.
Mr. McDonald says, "Is that what you want? My money?"
That, and I simply love your charming wit and dazzling personality. I'd like to keep you as long as I can have you, and I'll only part with your endless social graces for the sum of $20 million.
Mrs. McDonald says, "I don't have any shoes on, or a phone. I'm out here in just my robes."
There's an old story about royalty walking the streets naked. No one dared inform the king he was nude. And if you walk with your head held high enough, no one will raise issue with your present attire. However, where I do raise issue is whether you have access to the McDonald tax havens.
Mrs. McDonald says, "I have access to the accounts." Mr. McDonald says, "Now hold on, we haven't agreed to do anything."
If I don't see that money in transit within 24 hours, the next time you see your husband will be in a morgue. And perhaps that might not be the worst consequence I can offer. Let's be reasonable. This money is hidden to avoid paying taxes on it. You can't make use of it anyway, at least not immediately, and given your fortune, an ask of $20 million is like a homeless man asking for bus fare. Surely you can find it in your heart to feed the weary.
Mr. McDonald says, 24 hours isn't enough time to transfer that kind of money.
You mean to tell me that you don't have liquid assets stashed anywhere you can't move in an emergency?
Mr. McDonald sits quietly for a few seconds. Then he says, "All right, give him the money." And his wife asks, "And then you'll let him go?"
Safe and sound, still wearing the silk pajamas he left in. I would recommend that you begin the financial transfer as soon as you get home. I assume you'll call the authorities, medical help for the help. However, I warn you, should they find us before I see my money, I will kill your husband. There on the spot.
"Okay," she says. "I understand."
Good. And remember, Mrs. McDonald, you aren't nude. You're wearing the finest designer clothing. The cloak they call avarice.
You close the door and drive off, leaving Mrs. McDonald behind. After a little bit, Mr. McDonald says, "That's rich, telling my wife she has avarice while you steal from her at gunpoint."
It's unwise to provoke a person like myself, Mr. McDonald. You see, if I get angry, I'm going to become creative. A common thug, now, they might slap you or lash out wildly. I could cut you across the face, but a man like you, I imagine you'd wear a scar with enough pride to impress people. However, I'm giving that some thought. What if I carved a penis on your forehead? A crude stick and berries, the likes that you'd see on a bathroom stall. It'd be hard to impress anyone there, no matter how you got it, don't you think? We could get a tattoo gun, have some fun while we wait. Dude, you could make a brand in any shape you want. It'll be quick and easy, just tss.
You think I'm scared of you, you morons? You think I'm just gonna let you walk away with my hard-earned money? I didn't get to be a billionaire by being stupid. Every hitman in the world will be looking for you.
Oh, please, do. There's nothing the police would love more than the complication of numerous criminal elements trying to race them to the trail.
You're gonna pay for all this.
All right, ignore him. Get us to Gavin's truck, ditch McDonald's car, and move everybody over. Next, we head to the abandoned Wendy's. We ditch Gavin's truck and pile into the rental. Finally, we head back to the plywood lair. Wait until there's no traffic to see us, and then we get McDonald up there.
You get in there, and Gavin is still sitting around with his arms held tight by metal bonds. He sees you come in and says, "Oh man, I didn't think I'd be glad to see you guys again, but my arms are starting to cramp up, and oh my god, you kidnapped Kelvin McDonald." McDonald demands, "Who is this?"
Your new roommate! Mr. McDonald, this is Gavin, the security professional we had to kidnap and interrogate to gain access to your security systems. Gavin, I have good news. You're not going to die of thirst alone under an overpass.
Well, that is, like, good news. Were you going to let that happen in the first place?
Who was going to take care of you if we got killed or arrested?
I thought of that, but I was trying not to think about it.
Don't worry, we had no intention of doing that to you. See, Mr. McDonald, Gavin here gave us what we wanted, and in return, he got certain privileges. In fact, Gavin must be tired. Could one of you help him up? Kelvin here has had a long ride and would like to sit. Okay, I let Gavin loose.
He gets up and stretches out his arms. Paul sets McDonald down in the chair.
Isn't that nice? He kept the chair nice and warm for you. As I understand, you'll be bringing in millions of dollars while you sit here. That's a fascinating phenomenon of a man in your position, Mr. McDonald, is that an event like this will barely be an inconvenience to your empire in the grand scheme. All right, I strap Kelvin in by binding my baton around his wrists.
He's stuck. He sits for a few seconds and says, "Now what?"
Now we see what your wife can do inside the next 24 hours. Compatriots, I need to take my leave. Your job is to keep an eye on Gavin and Kelvin here. I'll let you be informed of any developments. So what, you're gonna leave the scene and we're here holding a red-hot bag? I have other rods in the fire, sir.
Are we gonna, brand him, speaking of fire?
Let's put a pin in that idea. As much as I'd like to, I dread the thought of his various supporters in the news and social media crying their crocodile tears over our cruelty. They'll have quite a lot to say, regardless, but if he's disfigured in any way, I can just imagine the talk show circuits and histrionic news anchors ranting about our barbarism.
But that's a good message, though. If people know we're barbaric, they'll know better than to come after us. He said he's gonna hire hitmen. We should make it clear that it'll go badly for them. We aren't amateurs here.
Honestly, the heat's gonna be insane no matter what we do to him. My question is, he says he's gonna get hitmen involved, but does his wife know those kind of people? Maybe we take him out and we don't have to worry about it. If McDonald knows those kinds of people, then they'll make themselves known to her if they sense an opportunity. For now, focus on this. The money is going into an account I intend to manage. If they can trace its whereabouts, the heat will land on my doorstep. The two of you will be in the clear, at least for the time being. If you need to make an escape before all this is said and done, then do so, but you should be fine.
That's right. I got friends who have friends, and they'll want justice for me alive or dead. You can't get away from judgment just by killing little old me. There's other people coming for you.
All I'm hearing, Kelvin, is that it doesn't make a difference if you live. Discipline matters now. Let him live, no disfigurement. I will let you know our next course of action. If you don't hear from me in 24 hours, act independently. Fine. Okay, I head out. I've got an important stop before work the next morning.
After Paul leaves, Gavin says, "What do you guys expect me to do now?"
Why don't you find a comfortable spot to sit? I can bind your hands and we can all watch YouTube or something.
You know, it's amazing how they took the hundreds of channels and yet nothing to watch thing to a new level. Technology these days, am I right? McDonald says, "Hey, look, if you guys are after money, I can give it to you in a way that isn't going to leave you hunted by hit squads or the FBI. $5 million each, and I forget you existed."
You think I believe that? Tell you what, you get $5 million into my hand right here and now. We'll talk.
Done. I can call people, get the transfer started.
Hey, if you're thinking about taking this guy up on that at all...
I'm not.
I don't...
I'm not. Do you know how much time rich people spend suing each other over trivial little slights and complaints? There's no forgive and forget until they've won. Or they want to walk away, I guess.
Well, there's that. But I also don't want to mess with Green Mean. You know, the boss? I don't know what powers he actually has. Shape-shifting is one, but also some kind of telekinesis with knives. Every guard he hit would have been dead in minutes if I hadn't been there. Speaking of, I am starving. Can you take first watch? I need to get some McDonald's or something that sells a lot of meat.
Yeah, I got it. You go ahead.
All right, all I'm saying is don't mess around with the boss. Maybe you're impervious to knives, but I'm not. And I don't want to be a human pincushion.
Yeah, you got it. Hey, it's a real shame we're not allowed to do a little branding, Kelvin. It's nice to get a chance to talk to the high and mighty on my own level, you know?
You heard the boss. Can't touch the merchandise.
The boss said he doesn't want the press to be showing off a bunch of nasty scars on your forehead, so... Hey, do you want to brand his butt instead?
Heck yeah, I do. Get your food, and I won't start till you get back.
Awesome, I'll be quick.
Okay, and Paul, where are you going?
I need to go and talk to my most special and closest friend of all.
You don't visit this guy often. You head downtown to a rundown area, climb the stairs of an old apartment building, and knock on the door. You hear fumbling around from the inside, and can hear a body checking you through the peephole. Angrily, they unlock the chains and the door bar, and you're face to face with what might be a mirror. Or it would be if they hadn't carefully groomed themselves and dyed their hair to look just ever so much not like you. This man appears just slightly younger, but only slightly. You both exchange weary and annoyed glances, mindful not to display any weakness, and then the other man says, "What idiot errand made you decide to come directly to my apartment?"
I shaved my beard off and I need it back.
The other man collars you and manhandles you inside. You resist, but he knows you as well as you know yourself, and it winds up being a little scuffle where you half dance beyond the door, and he shuts it behind you. "Your beard?"
Yeah, and my face is getting cold.
He takes a look at you and says, "You're back in the crime game."
Not me, no, never.
Oh yeah, you shaved your beard for a disguise. If you'd shaved it for Unstoppable Industries, they'd know about it, and it'd be strange if it grew back overnight. That means you need it for something that they don't know about. And if it were something trivial, you wouldn't come to me afterward. You've done something, and you can't afford to draw suspicion towards it.
Congratulations, you know me like the back of your own hand.
Shut up, idiot.
No, really, you're in my own head. How do you do it?
And in what shallow grave am I gonna find you in this time?
You know, if I knew that, I'd never wind up in one.
Why don't you just retire? Open up a restaurant or something.
It sounds miserable, it is miserable, and you know it.
I only think about how I feel when you have to do what I do, huh? I do hate it. If you think a criminal empire is bad, at least the henchmen fear you. People talk back at a restaurant or quit when it's inconvenient.
Look, are you gonna fix my beard or not?
Fine! This man who looks so much like yourself claps his hands around your face, and your beard begins to grow back. Not just your beard, but your whole body sheds a certain amount of age. You become the you that was, the you that you were the last time that you met. And he now becomes a bit closer to the you that you are now, gaining a few more lines in his face. The difference is slight, but it's there. When he lets you go, your beard is back, and just a little more time has been added to the sands of death's hourglass, however far it was from running out.
All right, good. Hey, if things go bad, you know where to find me, but keep an eye on a green guy with knives.
Of course, a green guy with knives. You couldn't get back in the ring as yourself. That'd be embarrassing. They'd bury you. So you're a green guy with knives, right?
Glad you understand. And I let myself out without a goodbye, and then catch just a small amount of sleep before work the next morning.
Well, even before the next morning, freeze frame. You get a phone call from Mrs. McDonald. She says, "Hello? I have an emergency. Can I come into your office right away?"
Oh, yes, of course, Mrs. McDonald. Let me get dressed and I'll be there as quickly as I can. Give me 15 minutes, maybe. Actually, 10, if you don't mind me meeting in plain clothes. I could change into my suit later if you're in a rush.
Could you? I'd really appreciate that. And with that, the two of you meet at your office. She explains the broad strokes at first. She finishes by telling you, "I called emergency services for the guards, and the police had quite a few questions for me. I told them the basics, but I've gone straight to you for 2 reasons. First, because we were clearly attacked by a supervillain. I don't know if he can control technology or people's minds or what, but it's like our security system wasn't even there. It's going to take superheroes to help us out. And second, because Kelvin had a lot of good things to say about you personally, Mr. Frame.
My real name is Lowry. You can call me Lowry.
All right, Lowry. Well, the second reason I've gone to you is because the kidnapper is asking for ransom money from our tax haven accounts. And if it turns out I have to pay, I don't really want the FBI or any other government agency looking at that."
Oh, I understand. Honestly, I think it's a shame how the tax code turns honest people into victims, really. But before you decide to hand over a ransom, it might be worth considering that it's no guarantee you'll get your husband back.
Well, it's barely any money they're asking. At least for us. If criminals never honored a ransom, then certainly nobody would ever pay them. And he gave us only 24 hours.
Out of curiosity, did this villain give you a name? Did he name himself?
No, he was dressed in varying shades of green and silver and had wings on his back. I don't remember if any of them said any names. Does it sound familiar to you?
Honestly, it's not ringing a bell. And actually, it's weird to see a newcomer show up out of nowhere and make a big play like that. Typically, 2 supervillains in one area will lead to a turf war, because organized villainy requires funding from somewhere, and they'll step on each other's toes eventually. Mercury's the dominant villain right now, so if this guy isn't already working for him, figure he will be eventually.
So this all comes back to the guy who killed Captain Momentum.
I can't tell you anything for sure yet, but that's my logical assessment.
Well, you're already chasing him, aren't you? Then I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay to get Kelvin back, and then I'm sure he'll be more than happy enough to funnel all the funding you need into personally hunting that man down so he can be tossed in Luna Island where he belongs. Or worse, honestly, he deserves worse. Luna Island is a private company, right? We can arrange worse.
I'll pretend we haven't discussed that. Should keep stuff like that between you and Mr. McIntosh. But for our case, we're always happy to save a citizen of New Jersey-Delphia. I'll call up Flux and Kimon right away, and we'll get a beat on this tonight.
Mrs. McDonald thanks you, and Kimon, you can scratch that hope for sleep tonight. You and Flux are both called into the office. Unless you have any objections, you drive in from wherever you are and meet Mrs. McDonald in the office.
Larry, it's 4 a.m. A dame married to a rich man is in your office, and nobody has the decency to be smoking a cigarette. Haven't you guys seen noir films?
This is serious. Kimon. Mrs. McDonald here is a victim of a kidnapping.
Well, what'd she do? Fight her way out?
They let me go under the condition that I pay a ransom for my husband.
We have less than 24 hours to find and apprehend the perpetrators, or so they allege. However, I'm skeptical that they'll release Mr. McDonald even if they're paid.
How do you figure?
An unknown party doesn't just steal a billionaire. If it's local crime, it'd be tied to Mercury, but for all his crimes, this one will draw international attention to the city, and no criminal organization wants that. When they realize how much hot water they're in, there's no telling what they'll do.
Yeah, well, you're right that he's too hot to hold on to. Whoever nabbed him would be crazy to keep him for more than a day. If that's their ultimatum, I assume that they're going to cut and run if they don't see any cash. Unless, of course, the whole thing is a front and McDonald is about to be extradited to a foreign country.
Oh my God. Well, which country would do that?
I'd say it has to be an organization that plans to put him on trial instead of killing him outright. A lot of spy operations will go straight for an assassination, especially when it comes to someone important. If they just want him gone, then he'd fall out of a hotel room or he'd drown on his yacht. You know of anyone that tried to make an example of your husband?
Oh, well, I mean, there are so many little groups and people that are upset about water rights or trying to claim something about cancer. I could give you a list, but it wouldn't narrow it down that much. You don't think this has to do with Mercury?
Mercury is... no, actually, it probably does have something to do with Mercury.
You sounded like you were going to say something else, Kimon.
I was going to say he lacks the spine. But on the other hand, Mercury is getting funding and intel from somewhere, and sometimes that kind of thing does come from foreign agitators. I'm just spitballing here, but as brazen as it is to kidnap Kelvin McDonald, there must be a profit plan regardless of what you do. Maybe you pay the ransom, maybe a foreign government pays the ransom. It'd be crazy for them to do this with no surefire plan for a payout, or it's an insane gamble. Your perpetrator must know how to stack the deck. If it's Mercury, he'd only be doing this if he felt safe.
Well, if the option is as bleak as paying the people or just letting Kelvin die or be extradited to, I don't know, somewhere in Africa, I see no reason not to risk the money. I'll transfer the payment, but while I'm doing that, I hope I can count on you three to find the parties responsible.
You live in a nice area, right, ma'am? Shouldn't the neighbors have a lot of cameras pointed towards the road? I bet a judge will sign an emergency warrant in no time.
Good thinking, Flux. We'll get on that. After that, we can have a look at the McDonald's security systems, see if we can find any trace of anything. Meanwhile, Kimon, head to the downtown airport. Make sure they know that we're keeping an eye out for a kidnapping victim, and we'd like to be informed of any private jets heading outside the country. All right, I'll go scare the birds.
And I guess I'll call Snakeman. Should I get Lightshow to help me with the door-to-door? I'm not sure how I should go about talking to big estates, so a little assistance would be nice.
No, Lightshow already pulled a night shift recently. Let him sleep. I'll go with you on this one.
All right, plan in mind, the team breaks and goes to its business. Paul, do you actually go to the airport?
No, I go home and I get to bed.